We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace.
We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump 2024.
A few moments later.
Amigo, não tem problema, amigo, não tem problema, amigo. Hold on, me, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, Vince, out the way. You'll be knocked down. Move!
Somali immigrants in America are in shock and in fear at the very man many of them supported, believing that he would protect them, has not turned against them. Donald Trump officially ended the TPS for Somalis, and for years, our Somali families, they lived in the U.S., are dependent on TPS because their home country remained unsafe, unstable, and unlivable. TPS allowed them to work legally, to raise their kids peacefully, and to rebuild their lives. But now things have changed overnight. Now thousands of Somali immigrants, they risk losing their legal status, their right to work, and facing possible deportations back to a country they once fled for their lives.
Guys, just imagine this switch. Someone you believe so much in, someone you believe was gonna be there for you, someone you believe was gonna make the change you wanted, was gonna be the change you wanted, actually turned out to deport you. Like, I really feel for these Somalian guys, but they literally got what they deserve. They got what they voted for. Like, they got deported, guys, and their TPS got terminated, and they are all over the place right now. So guys, if you're new to my channel, you're welcome here, and today I'm going to show you exactly what's happening to the Somalis in America and exactly why they're getting deported. We're going to get into that, so do well to grab your seat.
Hold on, me, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, Vince, out the way. You'll get knocked down. Move!
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. I pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired.
If you beef one Somali, you beef every Somali. If there's one thing about Somalis, they are going to ride out for their Somali brothers and sisters. They are going to crash out. They don't do one-on-ones. They're gonna jump you. Abdi's gonna go tell Rekta, who's gonna go tell her brother Mo, who's gonna go tell Naima, and she's gonna tell her Upti. You are fucked. You are well and truly pissed if you get into beef with a Somali, because word will get out that you're beefing the Malis. And then it's up from there. Even if you think that Somali is miskeen, they just watch anime and play PlayStation. They have someone in their network that is a trapper, that is on job. The Somali network is bigger than Google. It's even faster than Google. Next time you get into beef with a Somali, if you ever do, just let it slide. Because I promise you, you are going to have like 50,000 man on your case.
This guy needs to sit this one out. No culture or race benefits when wrongdoing is defended instead of confronted. Somalis in Minnesota are dealing with documented large-scale fraud cases involving welfare programs meant for children, families, people with disability. These aren't rumors. These are investigation, charges, and court cases. When people rush to defend identity instead of condemning the crimes going on, they unintentionally protect the very individuals risks damaging the community's reputation. Accountability is not hatred. Calling out fraud is not racism. And asking leaders and community voices to speak out is not an attack, it's responsibility. People come to America for opportunities, freedom, and a better future. When someone exploits the system, they don't just steal money, they steal trust, resources, and chances for others who genuinely need help. If we want a strong community, we must be brave enough to say it out loud. Crime deserves consequences, no matter who commits it. I'm yet to see even one Somali call out this crime, condemn the fraud going on in their own communities.
Do you want to know what the other side of deportation looks like? Do you want to know what it feels like to have a family member taken by ICE? Can you imagine what it feels like? Not knowing where your family member is? Can you imagine waking up and seeing that your family member has been trafficked again out of state lines without any communication to the lawyer that you're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to? Can you imagine that? I don't have to imagine it. On October 23rd, 2025, my uncle, a Somali man, was kidnapped and trafficked by ICE in Maine while trying to renew his worker's permit. He is a person with no criminal past. He has no criminal history. He's a working class man, an immigrant from Somalia who has lived in the United States for over 20 years. He's paid taxes for every year that he's been here. He's contributed to his local economy every year that he's been here. And he was still taken by ICE in Maine, a state that nobody is even talking about. In the discussions about ICE raids, nobody's even talking about Maine. They're taking people from Maine. They're taking Somali people from Maine. They're taking black people from Maine. They're taking African immigrants from Maine, like my uncle. After they took him, we found out that he was trafficked into Boston. He was placed at Plymouth Correctional Facility, which is a prison in Boston, Massachusetts. We were able to retain a lawyer in Massachusetts, and he was able to speak to him, so we were able to have a direct line of contact with our uncle for the 7 weeks that he was in detainment at that facility. For those 7 weeks, I don't know how to put into words what it feels like to know somebody you love is in a horrible condition. But we didn't give up. Obviously, he has a huge family behind him, and he had a lawyer behind him. And our lawyer tried multiple times every day to get in contact with ICE. My uncle was trying to comply with them. He was trying to get a bond so that he can go get his stuff arranged and leave willingly. And they still did not talk to our lawyer once. They didn't communicate with us. My uncle is a middle-aged man, so he has a few health issues that were not treated while he was in ICE custody. And he was also given food that was horribly unnutritious and cold and nothing that anybody could eat. He was treated so horribly. In the ICE facility, he told us that there is no privacy in the bathrooms. So obviously there's a level of dignity that they're taking away from these people, especially Muslim people who are in there. But in general, everybody, nobody deserves to not have privacy when they use the bathroom. He told us that there are no beds. The lights stayed on all 24/7. He told us after 6 months, some people who have been in there for 6 months, you can get some sort of electronic device provided by ICE. He was not in there for that long, but he told us that there are many people in there who've been in these facilities for over 2 years. Somewhere in the middle of December, they began trafficking him again after 7 weeks of no communication from ICE to our lawyer, even though our lawyer was based in Boston. So he went there physically, and they never spoke to him. Our family, his matrilineal family, so he's my uncle through my mother, their brother and sister, we all live in the state of North Carolina. He lives in Maine. So we decided to get in contact with our state representatives. We signed some consent release forms for them to inquire ICE about our uncle. They didn't do anything. North Carolina senators, you didn't do anything. You didn't help us. You didn't respond. You didn't ask ICE about my uncle. You didn't do anything. And so in the middle of December, around December 14th, he was trafficked again to the south. This happened after his commissary changed to say ICE Air. If you have a family member in ICE custody, if their commissary says ICE Air, this means that they're going to traffic them across state lines. We didn't know where. So we just had to wait for him to call us back. We got a call from this kind woman whose husband has been in ICE detention for over 2 years, who made friends with my uncle, and he called us on his behalf to tell us that he was trafficked. So these are the ways that people are finding about the location of their loved ones, not through any type of system, location system that ICE should have already set up. We are finding out through secondhand accounts, through through immigrants who are trying to help friends that they are making in these horrible conditions. My uncle obviously was frightened after being trafficked to another facility in the South. I believe the first one was in Mississippi. Within around 48 hours, he was moved again to 2 more facilities in Texas. At this point, he was sort of aware that he was bound for deportation, despite every attempt that we made to try and get any sort of communication with ICE to deal with this in a more humane way. And then on December 16th, 17th, 18th, these dates, I cannot give you firm dates because they are trafficking these people and they're not telling us when they're leaving. They do things before they tell us. So around these dates, he was deported back home to Somalia, and on the flight, he told us there was a Nigerian man who was extremely panicked, and he said that ICE and Border Patrol injected him with something to sedate him. He told us that ICE beat him severely, and he has suffered broken bones because of it. This is not a unique experience in these ICE facilities. We're dealing with physical assaults in there. You're dealing with sexual assaults. You're dealing with torture. You're dealing with withholding food. You're dealing with the type of everything that is in your fucking mind, you're dealing with. So the fact that you people are just now waking up because a white woman was shot in Minnesota. I'm a Somali woman. ICE has directly impacted my family. ICE has directly impacted the city that I have been born and raised in, Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, they came down here and began terrorizing this city, much like they terrorized Chicago, exactly like they terrorized Chicago, actually, and exactly like they're terrorizing Minnesota right now. They came to my city and harassed immigrants in my side of Charlotte. And you know what I did? I still went to protests. I still joined ICE verifier trainings. I, just like Renee, was also watching community watch around locations in my city where immigrants are. It's not that fucking hard. So to see you idiots talk about what can we do, we can't do anything. The playbook is right in front of you. Do something. Get the fuck up. It's too late for so many people. Get up. Get up.
People who spent years calling America racist are now crying online because they're being sent back to the same country they swore was better than here. Y'all like the video right here, follow for more. And let's get into this one. You see the meltdown videos everywhere, tears, anger, demands, but none of them mention the fraud investigations, the expired visas, the money that moved through criminal networks, or the abuse of programs paid for by the taxpayers. The moment accountability shows up, they all act shocked. I look at these videos and all I see is the same contradiction. Somalia is beautiful when they want moral high ground, but Somalia becomes unsafe the moment removal papers arrive. They switch the story depending on what benefits them. The reactions are emotional because the system finally stopped bending. Deportations are happening because laws exist, because agencies uncovered fraud rings, because certain groups are draining millions from health, housing, and social programs that working Americans rely on. There's nothing complicated here. People act like the West owes everyone a comfortable life, like your job is to give everyone else more than what you could give your own family. And that is not how a country works. You cannot build a healthy society by subsidizing the failure of another one. And while all this is going on, the people who should be rebuilding Somalia, protecting Somalia, and modernizing Somalia are here demanding benefits. Their own country loses the adults who should be leading it. But Americans care about Americans who can't afford homes. They care about the people being pushed out of work by cheap labor. They care about a safe country. They do not care about entitlement meltdowns on TikTok. Accountability is not cruelty. Borders are not cruelty. Deportations are not cruelty. They're the basic function of a stable nation. Western countries are finally acting like it. Y'all like the video right there? Follow for more. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Shamefully and blatantly lying about every single thing they are doing.
But according to Vice President J.D. Vance, it's Omar who's doing the lying. Vance said that this week that he thinks Omar definitely committed immigration fraud and is now looking to build a case against her. A spokesperson for Omar called the accusation, quote, ridiculous lie. But the tiny African nation of Somaliland, different than Somalia, is ready to help and is calling for Omar to be extradited to them. I say, look.
She said, let's do it. So listen to this last part right here. Listen to this last part. This African nation say, hey, we are ready for President Trump to just say the word and we will take Ilhan Omar right off y'all hands.
For Omar called the accusation, quote, ridiculous lie. But the tiny African nation of Somaliland, different than Somalia, is ready to help and is calling for Omar to be extradited to them.
Calling for Omar to be extradited to them. They say they are waiting. All they got to do is just say the word. Now, we'll check out this clip because, like I said, I've seen this clip, going around on the internet. And let's check this out.
From Washington to the Horn of Africa, a political attack has triggered an international flashpoint, with an unrecognized state offering to extradite a sitting U.S. Congresswoman. Now, the self-declared Republic of Somaliland says it would accept the extradition of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar if the United States ever requests it. Now, in a post on X, Somaliland struck a mocking tone, suggesting that any deportation would simply mean sending Omar back to her kingdom and signaling that it would be ready to act if asked.
Wow.
And that's not it. The official account also endorsed a series of posts on X aimed at mocking and disrespecting.
People who spent years calling America racist are now crying online because they're being sent back to the same country they swore was better than here. Y'all like the video right here, follow for more. And let's get into this one. You see the meltdown videos everywhere, tears, anger, demands, but none of them mention the fraud investigations, the expired visas, the money that moved through criminal networks, or the abuse of programs paid for by the taxpayers. The moment accountability shows up, they all act shocked. I look at these videos and all I see is the same contradiction. Somalia is beautiful when they want moral high ground, but Somalia becomes unsafe the moment removal papers arrive. They switch the story depending on what benefits them. The reactions are emotional because the system finally stopped bending. Deportations are happening because laws exist, because agencies uncovered fraud rings, because certain groups are draining millions from health, housing, and social programs that working Americans rely on. There's nothing complicated here. People act like the West owes everyone a comfortable life, like your job is to give everyone else more than what you could give your own family. And that is not how a country works. You cannot build a healthy society by subsidizing the failure of another one. And while all this is going on, the people who should be rebuilding Somalia.
But most of us are afraid we're about to lose our home. Not because we're going to get kicked out, because again, most of us are American citizens, but because when we look at America, we're seeing it slowly dismantle into something that is not recognizable, that America is losing its Americanness, right? Not in the same way that MAGA says it. No. But because like, it is just slowly becoming something that we don't recognize it to be America, right?
So that video is simultaneously enraging and hilarious. That is Nadia Mohammed. She is the youngest Muslim mayor in the country. She's born in Somalia, and she is the mayor of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. I mean, I get it. Her version of American is people like me not saying a damn thing as Islam takes over our cities. People who are related to founding fathers. People whose families helped found this country. People whose families have fought in every war. And we've been trained to think if you say that, you're the bad guy. You're the racist. You're the nationalist. Not, hey, you know what? It's a normal level of concern to wonder why the Council on American Islamic Relations in Minnesota and their state AG, who also happens to be a Muslim, Keith Ellison, seem to be in on this storming of the church. Why that group organized a mob just the day before that to attack Somali fraud protesters. A normal level of concern to wonder why there's so much Somali fraud. And I'm not even trying to be mean. Somebody told this woman and her family that this is the land of opportunity when they got here. They didn't tell them that if you commit massive amounts of fraud in your community, that eventually there's going to be some blowback from the rest of the citizens of the country. So yeah, Nadia Mohammed, mayor of an entire city in my country. Things may seem a little less welcoming these days, but maybe you guys should start leering exactly why that is. Again, I'm not even trying to sound mean, but I don't exactly go around Mogadishu telling them that they're losing their Somaliness, you know what I mean?
So y'all really thought I was talking shit yesterday. Y'all really thought I was playing. Baby, not even 24 hours ago, a Somalian woman was picked up in Minneapolis, Minnesota while she was running errands and was arrested. She is a fucking U.S. citizen. The Somalian U.S. citizen was held in Elk River for 24 fucking hours. And this is according to her cousin. She was just running errands by Nicolette Mall when ICE agents surrounded her, jumped her, and zip-tied her ass. On top of that, they mocked her job. They made fun of her. They harassed her. They questioned her like, what could you be hiding under her job? And this is the wrong outfit for you to try to run away from us in. And according to their cousin, she was touched inappropriately while she was in their fucking custody. Now, the only reason this woman was released because her husband is a paralegal and he showed up with her damn passport. This is what I was talking about in my past video. They don't give a fuck if you're a U.S. citizen. They will still kidnap you because that's what the fuck happened. They will hold you and they will harass you and they will terrorize you to the point where you no longer feel safe in a state, in a city that you belong in, and you'll want to leave the fucking country. I was not saying that to be sarcastic. I was saying that shit to be fucking realistic. Trust me. Black folks have been dealing with that shit for years. Generations. I hope she gets legal representation. I hope she sues the fuck out of ICE. But at the same time, for the Somalis in fucking Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, please watch your damn backs. Don't leave your house unless you really have to. And if you have to, leave in a group. Because they not playing. They already out there. Go, 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 go.
Stand back! Stand back! Move back! This is the freedom. Go, 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 go. Stand back! Stand back!
Like I said, it took a YouTuber a 23-year-old young man who's a YouTuber to expose this scam operation in Minnesota ran by Somalians, a bunch of illegal immigrants bragging on the internet that they're receiving thousands and even millions of dollars from government assistance. It's one thing to have American citizens brag about receiving food stamps and scamming taxpayers, basically. That's also horrible. But it's even worse when illegals are also with the same practice, bragging while many American families are suffering and drowning in debt, can barely afford their expenses, food, their bills. That's happening to American families. While that's taking place, illegal immigrants are bragging that they're receiving tax money from the very people who are drowning in debt. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Nick Shirley. Thank you, Donald Trump. Deport every last one of these roaches back to their country.
Right now. So, check this out right here. It's a breaking. Ilhan Omar throws a tantrum because her Somali community is finally facing real scrutiny after stealing over $1 billion in taxpayer cash through massive fraud schemes. Deport all of them, including her. Check this out.
So, there are 80,000 people of Somali descent in your state, but the president has been very focused, not just on them, but on you. In this extraordinary cabinet meeting, he said Somalis, quote, come from hell. They complain and they do nothing but bitch. Take a listen.
These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
That's what he said. Go back to where you came from and fix it.
Knocking is vehement agreement from his cabinet members there. I just wonder what the reaction is in your district.
See, the problem is the reason why President Trump was so mad at Somali because he just found out that they done stole up to $8 billion from taxpayers in Minnesota. That's the reason why he's hot. That's the reason why he say Ilhan Omar is garbage and the people around her because they in on the scheme as well. And Tim Walton. That's the reason why President Trump was going off and say, go back to where you came from. We don't want you here because y'all stealing. You're stealing money from taxpayers and then sending it back to Somalia. That's the reason why he's pissed off. He has every reason to be pissed off. But of course, Ilhan Omar is going to take up for the Somali community. Even though after they just got caught, more than 77 people had already been picked up for the fraud scheme, and there's still more people out there who was in this entire scheme. And like I said, including Tim Walz, who told his own employees, over 400 employees, to shut up and keep quiet for the last 3 years while all of this right here was going to enrich himself and to enrich Ilhan Omar, the reason why now she's worth over $30 million.
To have that from the highest office in the land.
It's disgusting.
Oh, really?
It's completely disgusting.
No, what's disgusting is Somalis in Minnesota stealing that much money, up to $1 billion from taxpayers. That's what's disgusting.
These are Americans that he is calling.
No, it's not. Them Somalians.
And we feel like there is an unhealthy obsession that he has on the Somali community, an unhealthy and creepy obsession that he has with me. I think it is also really important for us.
I be want to ask y'all that why she always, it like her and Jasmine Crockett do the same thing. They always say that Donald Trump, it's like he liked me or something. He's just so obsessed with me. But if you go listen to Ilhan Omar, you go listen to Jasmine Crockett, you go listen to AOC, every time they talk, it's about Donald Trump. Go to CNN and pull up a Jasmine Crockett interview or whatever and show me that she ain't talking about Donald Trump. She talk about him every day. Ilhan Omar talk about him every day. And as soon as he respond, he obsessed with me. He won't leave me alone. I mean, it's just crazy.
To remember that this kind of hateful...
Looks like Ilhan Omar just woke up to a nightmare today. Check this out.
Yeah, Bill, good morning to you. Federal agents are now on the ground in the Twin Cities, focusing on the Somali community and anyone who is in the country illegally. We know they have been stopping some folks out on the street asking for their IDs.
88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not...
So what you heard the president say today was that he is incompetent and incapable of being a president for the people of the United States, because he just said out loud that he despises Americans.
Also going door to door looking for specific individuals.
Wow, they're going door to door. ICE agents are going door to door looking to deport folks that are in the Minnesota area. This is a new level of aggression here, folks.
Door to door looking for specific individuals. All of this, as you mentioned, comes after those massive fraud schemes in Minnesota that involved mostly folks from the Somali community, fraudulently charging the state more than $1 billion for social services that were never performed.
Wow, this is arguably easily one of the biggest welfare fraud schemes that we've seen in American history. And it all is tying back to Ilhan Omar's hometown. It's wild here. And it looks like they're not playing with the whole deportation thing here. Ladies and gentlemen, this entire meltdown begins with one number. $3,047. Now, this is the unpaid lien sitting on Jasmine Crockett's Dallas condo, months overdue, according to county records. Now, is this an HOA due? Is this an HOA fine? Anyone with an HOA right now, does $3,000 per month for an HOA sound expensive to you? Well, yet this is the same woman who goes on television screaming about justice, accountability, and protecting democracy. But when it comes to handling her own finances, silence, excuses, defection. I mean, this wasn't just a clerical error. This wasn't a glitch. County filings show the lien was issued, it was ignored, and allowed to grow. Meanwhile, Crockett strutted around Washington, D.C. as if she had everything under control. And the moment that this lien surfaced, oh, guys, it didn't just expose a financial problem. This exposed a pattern inside the squad. This is a pattern of loud, moralizing, paired with messy, chaotic personal decisions that the media never even wants to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what just detonated in Washington, D.C., this is bigger than a lien. It's bigger than a paperwork dispute. This is way bigger than Jasmine Crockett ever expected. So today, we're not just talking about this $3,000 unpaid lien on a luxury Dallas condo. No, the scandal has ripped open the entire squad money pipeline, and the fallout is already spreading to Rashida Tlaib's luxury limo spending, Ilhan Omar's $1 billion welfare fraud.
To just say the entire Somali population does fraud, it's very heartbreaking.
In Minnesota, two sisters are speaking out about how false fraud narratives are sparking fear among some Somali Americans, while also causing confrontations like this one caught on camera. Person here. Video shows a Shakopee couple coming up to a car driven by sisters Hamdi and Sumaya while they were leaving a home tour. Tensions escalate as the couple, identified as the Wagners, accuse the two sisters of stealing money to pay for the home.
Did I steal your money?
You steal. The remarks seemingly tied to recent investigations into daycare center fraud in Minneapolis involving some members of the Somali community.
Steal your money for the house.
We've been in this country. We were born and raised here. My parents have been here for a very long time. We are very hardworking individuals.
While the Wagners declined to speak on camera, their lawyer released a statement saying in part, quote, "This incomplete video was being used to coordinate a cyberbullying campaign against an honest, patriotic, kind, and hardworking family," end quote. According to the law office, the Wagners plan to take legal action and have contacted the police department as well as the Department of Justice to look into potential criminal charges. Meanwhile, the sisters also plan to file a police report against the couple. In the NL's Podcasting Center, I'm Jessica Bringy.
So guys, I believe that every country has a certain groups of laws that persons are bound to follow, and once you go against those laws, of course, you have to face the consequences of your action, and that's what is happening to the Somalians, if I may say so. That's exactly what's happening to them right now. And I think at this point in time, after watching the clips, I think they have no one to blame but themselves, because they committed some crimes against the United States. And for me, I just think they're looking for who to pin the blame, actually, because having committed fraud and some kind of stuffs, and you're being proven guilty and you're being deported for that, and you get angry again rather than just taking accountability for your own actions, but you refuse to do that and you still want to fight is crazy. I feel bad that the families are getting separated. Yes, people are getting deported, but countries are actually governed by rules and regulations. And once you go against that, definitely you're bound to face the consequences of your actions. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Do you think the Somalian guys are right to fight against this government or not? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section and see you in the next one.